Hello guys, this is Habari 254 where we speak, we eat, we breathe football. So today we are going to talk about the decision that was made by Confederation of African Football to strip Senegal of their hard-earned victory against Morocco in the African Cup of Nations Final 2025. So the victory is now in the hands of Morocco. That is 3-0 victory. So there are a lot of information or pieces of information attributed to various people across the world. They are talking about what actually happened in the field and the decision that was made by the football governing body in Africa with regard to the win of Senegal. That is 1-0 win against Morocco. A lot of people are speaking. Yes, and at the same time, there are those who agree with the decision that was made by Confederation of African Football, and at the same time, we have those people who don't agree with the decision that was made by Confederation of African Football to strip off Senegal of their victory. So today, we are going to talk about this issue in detail. So don't go away. Ensure that you subscribe, you like, you share, and even you comment. There are a lot of things that are going on in the world of sports where CAF, that is Confederation of African Football, decided to strip off Senegal of 1-0 victory against Morocco in Afcon 2025. So people are giving out their opinions with regard to the decision that was made by CAF. But you know, rules are rules. We must adhere to the laid down procedures in every game. Now, there are statements that are given out by different people with regard to the decision that was taken by Confederation of African Football to strip off Senegal of that important victory. Now, Morocco are the winners of African Cup of Nations 2025. That is 3-0 against Senegal national team. So there is a video that is going around of President of Senegal displaying the trophy in his office. It is a clear indication that they are not in a position to give out the trophy. Now there is this statement that is going around that has been given out by the African Footballer of the Year in the year 1989, 1994, 1995. Call him George Mane Weah, who was also Ballon d'Or winner in the year 1995. 3 times African Footballer of the Year, that is 1989, 1994, and 1995. So statement of the decision by the Confederation of African Football CAF to withdraw the Afcon 2025 championship from Senegal and award to Morocco. This is a statement that has been done by George Weah. So March 18th, 2026. So in this statement, George Weah says, in football, the law of the game are clear. The referee on the pitch is the final authority on the decision made during the match. Once the play is allowed to continue and the match is completed, the result obtained on the field must stand. Yeah? Under the applicable rules of Confederation of African Football, popularly known as CAF, the match officials have full authority during the game. CAF regulations are in line with the FIFA laws of the game, which provides that the referee has full authority to enforce the law of the game in connection with the match to which he has been appointed, and decision on the fact connected with play are final. Law 5. Laws of the game applied by all confederations, including CAF competitions. In the present case of the final Afcon match between Senegal and Morocco, the referee allowed the match to continue after the walk-off by Senegal, and the game was completed, including extra time, with the result obtained on the field of the play. Additionally, post-match, the referee report noted a stoppage during the match, not for future, and recommended appropriate sanction for the infraction during the match. For this reason, the subsequent decision by CAF committee taken after the match had already been concluded, should not override the authority exercised by the referees during the game in keeping with the law of the game. That is law number 5. Football must be decided on the pitch, not re-decided after the final whistle. There is therefore no sporting justification to nullifying a match that was completed in accordance with the referee's authority and the law of the game. Otherwise, the beautiful game will head down a slippery slope where committee room officials and not much officials will be making post-match rulings to override referees on the field decisions like penalties, offsides, and even red cards. Where will it end? This decision has further scarred and blemished African football, undermining confidence in fairness, consistency, and integrity of football on the continent. I call on the Court of Arbitration for Sports, CAS, and other relevant authorities to move decisively so that this travesty does not stand. I also want to use this opportunity to clarify the social media post widely circulating claiming that I support the decision by CAF Disciplinary Committee against Senegal is blatantly false. All those circulating my image and attaching to such fallacious statement are advised to refrain. George Weah'S, Senior, Ballon d'Or winner 1995, 3 times African Footballer of the Year 1989, 1994 and 1995. So that is a statement by George Weah, who was once African Footballer of the Year, that is 1989, 1994 and 1995. He says there are some information that are circulating in the internet and he is warning people that those statements that not come from him. He is not responsible for such statements that are circulating in the internet because people are giving out their opinion. I saw a certain opinion that is attached to Samir Nasri on CAF stripping Senegal of the African Cup of Nations title and giving it to Morocco. So Samir Nasri said next time they might as well announce it in 2035 too. This is nonsense. Senegal brought the trophy home to celebrate, so we just give the trophy to Morocco. CAF are making a mockery of themselves. That is a statement attributed to this guy called Samir Nasri. Yeah, the president of CAF also decided to say something about the decision that was made by Confederation of African Football. He said, "We comply and respect the decision made at the highest level." So Morocco are crowned 2025 African Cup of Nations champions. And there were also some news that were circulating around that Senegalese players were being heavily abused on social media and on their phones. Some players have their private phones numbers leaked on different platforms, so people are just calling them, abusing them, insulting them with regard to the decision that was made by Confederation of African Football. There is a statement that is also going around that was made by Patrice Evra. So Patrice Evra said, "This is a disgrace for African football. A scandal we all saw with our own eyes that Senegal won. The African Cup of Nations has really lost all its credibility. When I got the notification, I thought it was an April Fool's joke. Nothing surprises me in the football anymore. And that's why I watch it less, because decisions like this are scandal." So that is a statement attributed to Patrice Evra, say that. So those are things that are going on in the world of football. And there is also a statement that was given out by CAF. They were saying how they arrived at the decision of stripping off Senegal of that particular victory. They were talking about the rules that they followed with regard to what happened in the field. So there is a letter that was sent out by the Confederation of African Football. They were saying the CAF Appeal Board decides that in application of the Article 84 of the regulation of the CAF African Cup of Nations Afcon, the Senegal national team is declared to have forfeited the final match of the Total Energies African Cup of Nations Morocco 2025. The match with the result match being recorded as 3-0 in favor of Fédération Royale Marocaine de Football, that is the Football Federation of Morocco. The Confederation African Football, that is CAF Appeal Board, decided that today, in application of the Article 84 of the regulation of the CAF African Cup of Nations, the Senegal national team is declared to have forfeited the final match of the African Cup of Nations CAF Afcon, this with the result of the match being recorded as 3-0 in favor of Fédération Royale Marocaine de Football, popularly known as FRMF. On the appeal by the FRMF regarding the application of the Article 82 and 84 of the regulation of CAF African Cup of Nations Afcon, the CAF Appeal Board made the following rulings. 1. The appeal lodged by the Fédération Royale Marocaine de Football is declared admissible in form and the appeal is upheld. 2. CAF Disciplinary Board decision is set aside. The CAF Appeal Board further finds that the conduct of the Senegal team falls within the scope of the 84 and 82 of the regulation of the African Cup of Nations. The protest lodged by the Fédération Royale Marocaine de Football is upheld. It is declared that the Fédération Senegalese de Football FSF, through the conduct of its team, infringed the Article 82 of the regulation of the African Cup of Nations. In application of the Article 84 of the regulation of African Cup of Nations, the Senegal national team or the Senegal team is declared to have forfeited the match with the result recorded as 3-0 in favor of Fédération Royale Marocaine de Football, that is FRMF. All other motions or prayers for relief are dismissed. So that is a decision that has been made by Confederation of African Football to strip off Senegal of their win, that is 1-0 win against Morocco in the African Cup of Nations 2025. They wanted to understand how you feel about the decision that was made by Confederation of African Football to strip Senegal of this hard-earned victory. Yeah, it is a victory that they deserved, but the board at the Confederation of African Football decided to make a decision to strip off Senegal of that particular win. But sometimes they say rules are there to be broken, and there are consequences when you break rules that have been made to govern a particular body or even what we call society. So Senegalese now are walking on a tightrope. Moroccans are really celebrating. They are on the street celebrating. But there are some people who are saying that football is won in the field, not in the boardroom. I want to know how you feel about the decision that was made by Confederation of African Football to strip Senegal of that particular win. This is Habari 254, where we package a lot of things that are happening in the world of sports, football, rugby, athletics, and what have you. So don't forget to subscribe, to like, and even share. And you can also support us, to ensure that we continue making contents that are like this. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.